having separate hats and having a separate focus and making sure that every time we close that door or go to the cafe or going to that meeting room to have a board level or board level style meeting with yourself or your business partners, that this, what I've just covered, is all that you're going through. Because if that's all that you go through, that's how your business is going to grow. G'day team, hope you have been super, super well. Today I want to talk to you about the today I want to talk to you about the board level focus in your business. And so I guess to sort of set the scene, like the board level focus in your business is not necessarily your a 10 million per year business and you've got a board of directors and all that sort of thing. Like a board level focus in your business is you as a startup, single person operator, all the way through to running a multi-million dollar per year consultancy with numerous directors, board of directors, that sort of thing. We always need to have those different hats that we wear in our business. We need to have our board level focus and the things that we talk about and work on and the strategy when it comes to the board level of our business. And then we've got the management and operations. And business owners make the mistake of not separating those two. They've got the technical element, they've got the operations, they've got delivery, and often that takes precedence over any kind of board level strategy or thinking. But if I find, and this is what I was working with my clients around this week, is find if we can wear those different hats and actually separate out those roles and responsibilities that we have in our business, regardless of whether we're a single person operator through to 10 to 15 million per year in revenue. We have those different hats and we make time for those, specific time for those in our weeks, then that sort of stuff gets done. So I just wanted to kind of lead out with that today in terms of giving some context in terms of what we're talking about today. But so it's really important to have those different hats and that different focus in the business, because what tends to happen is we get pulled into operations, we get pulled into day to day, we get pulled into putting out fires and all the things that we need to, and we never make the time for that board level, that strategic thinking in our business. And that's the thing. Like if we actually create the time in our calendar and stick to it and have that time in our week or in our months to actually focus on board level strategy, board level metrics, that's what I'm going to cover today, and actually having an agenda and a meeting locked in, that stuff gets done. But more importantly, it becomes a focus in the business. So a lot of business owners come to me and go, "What, Josh, why aren't I growing? Like, why do I feel so stuck? And why am I in the same place that I was 12 months ago?" It's because it's where your focus is in the business. It's the things that you focus on that amplify. So if you're constantly focusing on fires and operations and, getting the invoicing done and getting that project done and delivered and all that sort of thing, and don't get me wrong, that's all important stuff to think about. But if you're always focusing on that, that's what you're going to get more of. Whereas if you're up leveling the focus of yourself in the business and making time for board level meetings, even if it's with yourself or if it's with your senior leadership team, or even if it's with the other director in the business, if you are showing yourself and saying to your business and saying to you that this is important and I'm going to make the time for it, then you do make the time for it and stuff happens in that strategic space. So that's kind of some context for today's video. So if you're making that time for yourself at a board level, at a strategy level, at a high level visioning piece in the business, what I wanted to do today, what I thought would be super useful is to go through a typical, I'm calling it a board level agenda, but it's like the things that you should be thinking about, the metrics that you should be tracking, the conversations that you should be having at that board level with yourself, with your other directors, by yourself, regardless of the size of your business. These are the conversations that you should be having, the thoughts that you should be thinking about, and the things that you should be tracking to make sure that you're making the most of the strategic time that you're making the time for in your weeks. So, and what I'm working a lot with my boardroom clients on at the moment is the difference between the two. And a lot of the times, I'm working with businesses that are 5, 6, 7 million. They've got a board of directors. They're finally starting to actually have structured board level meetings. But the problem or the challenge is that they're bringing a lot of management stuff and operation stuff into the board meetings. And so that's tainting the intent of the board meeting, which is purely strategy and direction. So they're bringing stuff like WIP and staff challenges and invoicing problems to board meetings. And then everyone's getting distracted talking about that sort of stuff. And the board level meetings or the board level time that you set aside in your business never actually eventuates or never turns into that strategic stuff that you need to be talking about. So what I want to go through is, and like I said, what I thought would be helpful is a quick kind of high level framework for you to be thinking about in terms of the stuff that you should be thinking about and talking about and presenting at your board level kind of meetings. The first is financial performance. And so you can fall into a trap of reporting on a whole bunch of stuff and bringing a whole bunch of different things to your board meetings. What I'm saying to my clients is 90% of that stuff is irrelevant at a board level. Push that to the management level. Have different management and ops meetings to focus on that stuff. And again, that doesn't matter whether you're a single business owner through to a 10 million per year consultancy. Have a different meeting for ops and management. Focus on 90% of that stuff. And at a board level, all we want to be talking about or reporting on, and this is the metrics piece, revenue. So past and future, how are we going? What's our projection into the future? So a quick kind of snapshot on revenue. Profit and loss, like how are we traveling? What's the performance of our business? Coming up to this, what's our projection profit and loss as well? And cash flow forecast. So really at a director level or at a board level, all you want to know is, and you want to know that the management team and the ops team have got all the other details sorted. But at a board level, the discussion is really around revenue. How are we tracking past and future? Profit and loss. How are we tracking past and future? And cash flow forecast. Are there any holes in our cash flow coming up that we need to kind of mitigate? That's it. And then anything else that gets raised in those meetings or talked about gets taken offline and addressed at those management level meetings. The second thing that you want to be talking about at a board level is like compliance and risk management. So obviously as a board of directors or people who are the owners in the business, you've got those compliance things that you must talk about. So, legal action, project risk items, client risk items. But again, like you're just talking about it. And then any actions that come out of that get taken offline so that you don't derail the strategic time that you've got. You want to raise it, talk about it, and then any actions that come out of it get taken offline and addressed at the operational level. Then, and that should be really like, I've built a full agenda for my boardroom clients about board level meetings. That stuff should be like 10 to 15 minutes tops. So financial performance, compliance and risk management, obviously the welcome and apologies and going through all the minutes and stuff like that, 10 to 15 minutes tops. Because the real focus, unless something major comes out of there that's a real issue for directors to address, is strategy. We want the remainder of the meeting, the remainder of your board level time to be focused on strategy. And so that's stuff like, and I'll go through the agenda in a second, but like this needs to be, if you've got an hour, the first bit's 10 minutes and then the next bit is the next 50 minutes. That's your bang for buck, thinking about strategy. So your state of play, like you're doing a review of your strategic plan, like your goals, your progression, like what's working, what's not, and like what's our action plan to reset stuff. So this is not your business plan. This is not operational performance. This is your strategic plan in the business and a review of it every single month. What are our goals? What's our progression towards our goals? What's working? What's not? And if stuff isn't working or it's going off the rails, what's our plan to reset that? So a state of play, we always want to do a review of state of play and then set actions and who's going to do what coming out of that state of play. The other stuff we want to talk about, mergers and acquisitions. Like if we've got heavy growth strategies in our business, what's our M&A play? Like what businesses are we talking to? Who are we going to buy? Who are we going to acquire? Who are we going to merge with? So mergers and acquisitions needs to be on that agenda list. Strategic BD. So not just normal revenue and that sort of stuff, but like pure strategic BD, like clients that you really want to work with. And it might take 2 to 3 years to come off. Who are those clients talking to? What's an update there? Like full strategic business development in the business. And then stuff like succession planning, like the next gen of shareholders coming through. Like who does that look like? Who is it? Have we identified these people? What's their status? So can you see that Like these are the board level business metrics and the things that we need to be talking about at a board level. It's super high level. It's the growth of your business. It's the visioning piece. It's the where we are going and why, and how we're tracking against those plans. It's got nothing to do with the HR challenge that we had this week. It's got nothing to do with that invoice that didn't get paid. It's got nothing to do with that report not going out on time. That's operations. That's management. And if we can do our best to separate those things in our heads, and like I said at the start, having separate hats and having a separate focus, and making sure that every time we close that door or go to the cafe or going to that meeting room to have a board level or board level style meeting with yourself or your business partners, that this, what I've just covered, is all that you're going through. Because if that's all that you go through, that's how your business is going to grow. Your business is not going to grow sorting out that report that was due or the invoice that didn't get paid. Your business is going to grow by having dedicated and committed time every week and every month to focus on the board level focus in your business. So team, I hope that helps. I was fresh off a training call with our boardroom clients. I just wanted to jump in and sort of share that insight with you. And if you're not doing it, if you don't have those separate hats, please make the time to put those separate hats on and create individual time in your weeks and your months for management and ops and board. Separate them and make sure you've got different agendas for both. So I've built agendas for my boardroom clients that they're now using in their businesses as ways to guide those meetings and inform those discussions. But just make the time. It is so, so, so important. So team, that's it for me today. If you want to keep doing this journey on your own, we have a ton of free resources to help you keep doing just that. But if you'd like to join Boardroom, if you'd like some help growing faster, if you'd like to join an amazing community of incredible business owners, all inspired, motivated, working together, sharing, learning, and lifting each other up and helping each other build their businesses, then I'd love to invite you. And you're a business owner of an engineering consultancy, I'd love to invite you to join Boardroom. So just comment below this video or shoot me a message or an email or a text or a call with the word Boardroom. Let's have a chat about how I can help you build your business faster. Have an awesome day.